Hey, welcome to Full 42. We are talking about the top 5 games that fell short today. Fell short of expectations, fell short of other stupid rules we have in our head, whatever that means. Hello, everybody.
Howdy, howdy.
Hello, Alan. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to go get some water. Nope, it's actually water.
No, it's water.
Yeah, it's water.
Mine tonight, it's sweet tea. It's not real liquor, yeah?
Yeah, so the topic is a little controversial in the fact that we're giving, I guess, what you could call a negative review, but I'll say it with all these caveats. Mike and I have a ton of friends in this industry. We don't want to step on toes and all that, but I didn't keep quiet about anything, but I'm also not going to be mean unnecessarily. I'm just going to say how I felt specifically about something. And honestly, a lot of these on my list I still like, but in a different way or something like that. So some of them, I'm going to stomp a few into the ground. That's fine. And I apologize to any designer or anything like that that I do that to. But, I'll try not to set anything on fire. It's not going to be bad. It won't be bad. Promise.
No, I mean, I get it, right? Like, I've definitely shit on a couple games before, but a game that falls short, right? A game that didn't live up to its expectations, or a game that I just would never play again. It's just personal preference and it's subjective, right? I'm obviously not telling you that these games suck and you should stay the fuck away from them. But for me, my taste, the game group, the experience, the whatever, it just didn't work.
Yeah, I actually ended up making like 5 categories, and I have 1 or 2 games in each category because, and some of this you might learn from. You might be like, oh, okay, I should think about that when we're making a game or something, So.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we'll get into it, but I made my list and I have 9 on the list because as I was going through, I'm like, yep, that one too. 5 of them are in the BGG top 100.
I didn't actually go look to see if mine are. I think I would bet. I know 1 for sure, probably another one, and maybe 1 more.
Yeah.
I wrote sucks after it though, so it's probably not in the top 1. I won't say what that one is, but you might be able to guess.
Well, I played a new one this weekend, and it's currently ranked at 6,200 plus, but it's a brand new game.
Evan, Diana.
Howdy. Oh, Evan and Di. Nice. Howdy.
Yeah, but I mean, we are sensitive to the fact. I mean, both of us are designers and developers and in the industry and stuff. We know what it's like to put all of your heart and soul into something and then have people stomp on it. So we'll keep that in mind. We won't be too harsh.
Sure, but we're all, as a designer or developer or publisher, you also have to be thick-skinned because and it's twofold with about 5,000 games being published a year, right? And people having different tastes. You can't make the game that's good for everyone. It's just not going to happen. So if people are going to shit on it because they don't like roll and writes, or they don't like deck building, or they don't like whatever the hell, like, you can't take it personally that, oh, I don't like worker placement, your game sucks. Cool, that's fine.
Right. Yeah. I never minded when someone says I hate orange, so I don't like trouble. Right. They're like, well, I couldn't have fixed that no matter what the game was. So
right.
All right.
Well, on the other side, if I hated all games that didn't have orange as a play piece, holy shit, my collection would be like
I think these categories, and we'll go over them and stuff, but I think these categories, I did them as categories because I was like, once I thought of a game, I was like, why is it on this list? Oh, yeah, there's another one that's like that on this list. And it created a category for me. So
Cool. I can't wait to see which ones you hate.
Yeah. Some of them I hate. Some of them I don't.
Cool.
All right. So before we do that, though, we got some announcements.
We do.
Little announcements.
I got 4.
You got 4 announcements.
Yeah, all but right, I always start. What do you have? What do you got going on?
I got nothing going on.
Cool.
The only thing I have going on is that I am working nonstop on Critter Kitchen that's coming out, the Kickstarter that I'll be talking about quite a bit in the next coming months. So I think it's like 45 days away, 44 days away, something like that. Peter can correct me. Peter's doing the thing now where he's like telling me every day, like how many days away. I'm like, I hate that. Don't do that.
Sure. They did, while we're talking about Peter.
There you go. Oh, 42 days.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's awesome.
That's funny. That's great.
They did announce, Cardboard Alchemy announced Potion Con, is it called?
Yep. Potion Con.
So Potion Con is happening. Go look it up. You probably in any one of the Cardboard Alchemy Discords or Facebook or Flamecraft fan group is where I think I saw it. We will have something at that con that we'll announce soon. So stay tuned. I don't know about next week. Next week I'm going to be doing that all over the house because QsCon's next week. So I don't know if we'll announce it next week, but we'll be announcing something soon about what we'll be doing with that convention. But it looks like it's a hell of a lineup. You get to see a bunch of people, designers, and Sandara's part of it, and obviously Peter. So that'll be fun.
Yeah,
you might know a little bit more, and you probably can't say too much more, but
yeah, I don't actually. You'd be surprised at how little I do know because I've had my head buried in the development of Critter Kitchen so much. Every now and then I look up and go, "Oh, that's happening!" Like a lot of it's happening outside of my stuff. So, yeah.
Well, cool, Peter. Why don't you throw the link in the chat in the comments for where they can go and get more information or their badge or whatever, so more people can find out about it.
So yeah, that's my off the cuff announcement. What's your announcements?
Well, other than QsCon being next week. Hi, buddy. The con sold out, which was super exciting.
Awesome. Yeah. Man, I was just about to buy. Just kidding.
Oh, I know. Oh, well, look at that. A badge opened up, so you can.
Oh man, that's
So if anyone is finding this, and I'm posting on the Discord and the Facebooks and that stuff, but if anyone is finding out about QsCon in this video, there are no badges at the door unless people can't make it or something happens and badges get pushed and things open up. In previous years, you've been able to show up and just get a badge, but we are actually sold out, so we don't even have that. I wasn't doing it anyway because of the new location, but yeah, we sold out.
What's unless you don't want to say, but what's the max count of sold out?
The hotel says the limit is 500, but it's not 500 because you can't do 500 in a convention. If you have a table that fits 8 people and 4 players playing there, you're wasting 4 seats. So it doesn't compute. I don't think yet. I don't necessarily know. So I capped it at 350, and I don't think there's going to be 350 at once, but that's my cap for this year anyway.
Nice.
Yeah. To go along with that, this Thursday, 6-ish Eastern. I'm not sure exactly when. Con Solo. Oh, that's good. Thursday at 6-ish, I'm gonna go live with Ask Me Anything, an AMA for about QsCon because there are a lot of first timers this year. So if anyone wants more information or wants to just understand like the flow of things and how things work, I'll be doing something. I'm not sure where that's going to be, but
ask you anything. I could ask you anything.
AMA about QsCon.
I hear AMA. All right.
AMA about QsCon. Yeah.
I'll think of it.
Yeah. So that's happening Thursday, and then this is fun, and I'm equal parts nervous and excited about this one. Recently, I discovered, and I don't know if you know or if anybody else in the chat has seen this, Doka Ryan, Doka Ryan, Ryan. Does that sound familiar? Okay. I think he's a bartender or he works at a restaurant or something. But he does these short videos where he takes some ingredient and liquor and puts it in a mason jar for a week or at what he says until something interesting happens. So he'll take like butterscotch candy and gin. He'll take the 1-chip challenge and tequila. Like he does. Yeah, he does a bunch of shit.
It's
like
interesting.
gummy worms and rum. Like he's all over the place. And some of them are great, and some of them are just like I can't even imagine. So he does two things with them. He eats, if anything is left in there, he'll eat what's in there. So whatever's been broken down, he's done like cakes, like they're like ring dings. I don't know what the Oreo cakes I think he did once. Like there's some weird shit. But he'll take a spoon, and if there's anything in there that he can eat, he'll eat it, and then he does a shot of whatever it is. Right.
Okay.
So like it's wild. Some of the shit, and then he'll rate it on a scale of 10. Right. So there's some shit that's like a 2. There's some shit that he'll rate negative. There's some shit that he'll rate like 20 out of 10. So
if you go negative, it's not 1 out of 10. Just saying.
Like it was that bad that it went negative.
Okay.
So I've shared this information to my detriment with Mr. West Todd. And now he just sent me a message today that he couldn't sleep last night and caught up on 2 hours of Doka Ryan videos and has now created a list of concoctions that he is making. We are going to put together a trivia game. He is going to put together a trivia game where everyone that I get right, I get to pick one off the list. And everyone I get wrong, he gets to pick one off the list. And then at QSCon, we're going to be doing them. We're going to actually have like a contest at a quiz trivia thing at QSCon that'll determine like which ones we're going to be doing.
You're going to put that on video, right?
I assume it's going to get recorded. If not, I'm going to try and live stream it.
Yeah, you got to put it on video so that people it'll spread news of QSCon.
I looked at some of the things like the list that he has, because obviously there's some stuff like just because some things I could be allergic to or like any of those kind of reasons. So he's like, look at the list. If there's anything that's 100% no,
you're like, I'm allergic to that. That sounds gross. I'm allergic to that.
I'm allergic to liquor. I'm not. I cannot have alcohol. Oh, he's added colors. Jesus Christ. So one of the ones I'm very excited about, and for those that know me, well, this will make sense. One of the ones is Cadbury mini eggs and gold rum. And I love my Cadbury mini eggs. But that he's also, this is where it
I don't like that one. Oh.
Peppermint schnapps and olives. Fuck that. That's
that does not go well.
He has one in here that was rated high in the video. It's Fireball whiskey, which I'm okay with. I like Jack Fire better, but Fireball whiskey and Beets.
Oh, I can't stand Beets.
So like it's gonna be I don't even know, Warheads. It's gonna be weird. So that's gonna
Alan's starting off your AMA.
Can I buy next year's QSCon? No, you can't buy it right now. I am talking to the hotel about dates for next year. It's possible that I don't know what's going to happen. Either I'm going to wait for the Syracuse football schedule to come out so I don't have a home game on that weekend again, because that's the hotel sold out is kind of causing a little bit of a hiccup. Or I'm just going to do it, and if it's a thing, just get your ticket early. So I'll let you know. So that's happening this week and Thursday. No, I'm sorry. This is the play with West. We're going to do that this week to do the game. And then next week at the con, we're going to be doing this drinking thing, which is going to be a disaster.
By the way, if you want to see This Is the Play or Scryfy show or this show and all that, subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and you'll be, and the little bell too will let you know whenever our live shows are going on.
Yeah.
Do they still have the little bell? Do the little bell?
I think there's a bell. Speaking of Scryfy, I cannot wait for tomorrow's episode.
Yeah, every week we have a Scryfy episode that I think we release them on Wednesday evening, that covers the Ahsoka episode of that week. So yeah, those have been real fun. We do that with my brother Daniel.
I'm very excited about tomorrow. It's going to be really good. All right, so yeah, the announcement on the drinking with West and these concoctions he's making up, I'm like I said, equal parts nervous as hell and very excited about that.
Doesn't happen unless there's a video and we get to make fun of you.
Oh, there'll be a video. I'm sure there'll be a video. The AMA on Thursday, the drinking with West, both before, or well, the trivia question with West, and then the drinking at QSCon. QSCon sold out, and then Lucas painting is the only other thing.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah,
I'll try next year as well, Alan.
don't make fun of me. It's going to be awful, Shannon. Like some of the things on the list, if I get the trivia. So he gave me, I was being a little bit of a smartass. He's like, I just need a couple categories that you think you're good at. I'm like, well, basic math, primary colors. And he's like, are those your things? Because I can make this quite interesting. And I'm like, fuck, have fun. So the categories are things that I think I'm well versed at. Like
I need to contact him and make sure it's all Star Trek questions.
No Star Trek. I gave him questions. I gave him topics. It's very specific. But if I get it wrong, he gets to pick one of these things from the list. And like
I should get to put in one question. I'm going to contact him, and he'll be like, "This question's from Chris."
No. Yeah. Nope. I'm gonna have to have at least 2 omits for the entire game. Yeah, so that's gonna be super great. And make fun of me because you'll probably end up doing a shot from one of these things anyway. So don't worry about it. All right. So Lucas painting.
Yes. So every week we show Luca's painting, your son's painting, and we try to figure out what's wrong with our brains and what do we see in it. Right.
This is pretty good.
When is
yeah,
talking about other stuff.
Yeah. No. We're doing this. We're going to be doing it at QSCon. So the trivia thing to select which ones he's bringing with him because he's driving. He's not flying. He's driving here, so he can bring whatever. The trivia questions are going to be this week, and the trivia questions, the results will determine what will be at QSCon.
Nice.
So yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy. And we are going to go down there, but we'll talk about that later. All right, Luca, I'm showing your painting. Bye.
Does not
Bye. All right, here it is.
Oh, like the orange and blue. You know I do.
Yeah. Well, we're getting
cool.
close to QSCon, so now this week and next week will be orange and blue ones. This was made June 12th. And it is number 31. This is the 31st one we've done.
Oh, hope you feel better, Shin.
Oh, that would suck.
Yeah. Yeah. So I see. So can't say exactly what I say. So okay, I see Opa. From Airbender, the big what do you call him? Air bison, flying bison.
Yeah.
I see him flying, and then like his shadow on the ground, and he's like crossing a road that's down there. But I'm not sure what's about. Is that Momo above him? Yeah, that could be Momo. So it's all Avatar, Airbender for me.
Okay.
I think the thing below it looks like a shadow of what's flying above it. Appa. So yeah.
Oh, bat's good.
Bat, orange bat.
Yeah, the wings going up and down. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the colors though.
Yeah, this was specific, right? This was 2 different shades of orange and 2 different shades of blue. So
a hurricane named Zorro.
That's great. So this is for me, it's a little bit of a deep cut, but there was a comic in the, I think the 90s called The Max, M-A-X-X.
Yeah, I have it.
So I see the Max there with this blue on the bottom is his one hand like punching at you or coming at you where his head is here. Like his body and his head are over here.
Okay.
That's his backhand.
Huh.
Because he always had those oversized front teeth, and he had this like the way that they drew the art. It was always like edgy and whatever. Yep. So that's what I see.
I could see that. Yeah, all the proportions were really big and gigantic and strange and stuff. Yeah.
That's my thing. Also, that orange streak in the front is like that old school Resident Evil where the zombie would get you and do the claw mark on the screen or something.
Oh yeah, I could see that. Violent.
Yeah, I mean that's what I see. That's not what he painted, but that's what I see.
Someday we need to get someone on here that can interpret our issues.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Pretty sure I've told you need that at some point.
Yeah, probably. I would probably do.
All right, so we're gonna go over the top 5 games that fell short. All right, so let's talk about
I
what.
do want to mention a good friend of mine. I was at their wedding this weekend.
Oh, right.
So John and Tara got married, Northwest Ohio. Their convention was, their wedding was a game convention. People got in early. They started gaming, I believe, on Thursday, Friday all day. Saturday was the ceremony, and they did like appetizers and dinner. And instead of a first dance, they had a first game.
I saw a picture of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Tara won, I think, by 2 points. I think it was 83-81, something close. But Tara won their first married game together.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was really cute. The love and the joy and everything that was going on with it. It was really well done. And their wedding favor, which I think is amazing. I'm stealing everything. If it ever happens, I'm stealing everything that they did. Their wedding favor was a game that they designed.
Oh, that's fun.
It was designed by Tara and Jonathan and David, who comes to QSCon. He's not coming this year because he's got other things, but and they were all there, so I had them all sign the box. So it's a little rolling, right? Yeah. Purple and orange are their favorite colors, so they come with a bunch of purple and orange dice.
Good colors.
Their little favors were purple and orange dice with the thing on it.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good theming.
Yeah, so it's a roll and write. I'm not sure how it plays yet, but the roll and write, you got your little, you roll and you put the numbers based on whatever, and you're trying to do the different boxes or something. So,
that one looks like a wedding cake. That's funny.
Yeah. The tables and
That's cute.
Yeah. So that was this weekend.
Is that game just a limited thing? They got printed up for that, or they like? Is it eventually going to be?
No, there's no barcode. There's nothing on it. It was just for the wedding.
That's a cool idea
for the wedding. Yeah. It was really cute. John's great. I love John. He's an amazing, genuine human. Tara seems to compliment, and John seems to compliment Tara really well too. Like they get along, and they're playing Dead of Winter when we left on Sunday, which is the game that like Tara loves the game, and he's the designer of the game. So there's like that connection. It was really cute.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. And they're great people, and they'll be at QSCon. So I'm looking forward. Like
they're
doing their thing, and we get to see them again. So
nice.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So our top 5 games that fell short. So I already kind of mentioned, that I've got mine in categories kind of thing, why they ended up there kind of thing. So what about you? Did you just go, don't like it, don't like, how'd you get your list?
For me, it's really hard to find a game that I don't like, because I try and find something good in all of it, right? Whether it's a mechanism or something that's working really well, or like the art or the gameplay or the something. But the falling short was kind of like, there was this hype about it being like, this is the game you need to play. And then I played it, and I haven't played it since. No, I haven't played them. I've played them all once. I think I would play 2 of them again, just to see. But I have no desire to play any one of them again. I think there's games that just do better. I think there are games that, like, I don't like runaway leader problems, and unless something is fixed, then I don't want to experience that again. So there was a lot of these that are just like, they just didn't work for me. And like I said in the beginning, 5 of them are in the top 100. I have 9 on the list. I don't know which ones I'm going to actually talk about. Although one of them I talk heavy about, so I might not even include it. 5 of them are on the top 100.
2 of my categories have games in them that are actually pretty well. I've played many times, more than once at least. And one of them I really like, and I've talked about in other lists that were positive lists. But there's a reason why it's in a category, and we'll get to that.
Okay.
I also, for one of the few times, don't have an order to this because they're in separate categories. So I'll just kind of play off of you, so you can go first if you want.
Oh, I got to go first? Oh, you
Yeah.
suck. All right.
I bet you. Wait, I know I can guess 2 of them, but I don't want to, mess up your list or anything.
No,
But
guess them because those are the 2 my caveat of like the ones that I talk about constantly hating. Not hating, just disliking and don't ever want to play again.
yeah. But yeah, and again, if you didn't see the very first part of this, we'll try not to be unnecessarily mean. Like I said, we're designers and developers ourselves, so we know what it takes to make these things and stuff. But there are reasons why it's on this list, and we'll talk about that.
Well, I'm clearly in the minority because like the BGG top games, like that list is not necessarily like there's an algorithm that makes things like people are just talking about it, so it bumps it up. But when you're in the top 100, like those are pretty good games, right? Like they've been around, they do good stuff, they've been reprinted and won awards and whatever. So I definitely know I'm in the minority with a few of these. But
so you're wrong on some of them, so that's
I'm fine
important.
with being wrong. Yeah, I'm good with being wrong. All right. So what do you think? What do you think the 2 are on my list?
Oh, you don't want me to blow up your list, do you?
Do it because they're the 2 that I'm going to say is like just the caveats. Like I talk about this all the time. They're not on my list.
It's going to be Point Salad, and it's going to be Red Rising.
No, Red Rising's not on my list.
What? As much as you okay?
Yeah. So
well, write it on there because you talk about it way too much.
What I didn't like about the game was the colors being off, the foil stamp being visible on the back of the cards, the insert being trash. Like there was more about that I didn't like than the gameplay. I think Fantasy Realms and even Marvel Remix do the same thing Red Rising is doing. You don't need those tracks. It just feels better. It's cleaner, and I've only wasted 15 minutes if I lose, where Red Rising is like, holy crap.
There are 2 categories of mine that talk about more the development of the game than the actual gameplay, like choices that were made while making the game. So
interesting.
That would fit for me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Point Salad you got. And for the record, that's number 459 on the list.
Some people are throwing some stuff in there. And I do have a hype category too. So
the first thing I wrote down when thinking about this thing was Terraforming Mars.
Oh, really? You put that? Oh, okay.
It is number 6 on the BGG top games, and
Dave called it on you.
There's nothing about that game that I want to play again.
Now, let me ask you. I'm gonna pull it up for some people might not be familiar with it.
I mean, it's great, right? Everyone loves it. It's a good design. There's infinite expansions. I like the Ares Expedition. It feels the same, but it's not a 2.5-3 hour time sink. I'm curious about the dice version of the game, but this base game, I did not have a good experience when playing it. I think it favors, like what I was talking about, it like a runaway leader thing, but it favors people that have played it before.
Definitely.
It's not. I like what's going on there. I like Alien Frontiers better. If you got to do something where you're putting something on a map, like a planet, I like Alien Frontiers with the dice worker placement and how it's doing things on the planet where you're getting the bonuses and you're putting your colonies. Like that all feels like that's or not Red Planet. Is it Mission to Mars? One of those things where you're like shipping up the things. The rocket ships are going and you're loading up the rocket ships.
Red Planet, Mission to Mars,
Mission Red Planet,
something like that. Yeah,
yeah. I'd play that all day over this. Alien Frontiers is great. I would rather play Alien Frontiers than there's nothing that makes me want to play this again.
Alien Frontiers is the game that made me go, "Oh, you can make games on Kickstarter."
yeah. Good old game.
Yeah.
So those are the 2 that I talk about enough that I are on my list, but I'm not including them in my top 5.
Yeah, the I played this several times and I liked it okay, and I think there have been better versions since. So I don't know if I'll ever go back to this because I'll play the better versions in my hand, but that's just subjective. I did like this more than you did, obviously. So, but not to the degree that a lot of people did, but I did like it. So.
Sure. Yeah, it does good things. It's well produced. I love Stronghold. Like, there's nothing about Jacob's games I don't like. It's just this game playing with certain people, or it was a like you had that sour experience, and it just taints it for you. You're like, meh.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So to go along with that, and I've said like this is I'm talking about the base game. I don't know if expansions fix anything that I didn't like about it, nor do I care. Like I'm not going to try and revisit it. Another game that does the same thing, even though there's new versions of it that I've heard kind of fix some things, is Great Western Trail.
Ooh,
yeah. So that's number 15 on.
Shots fired a lot here.
The what?
Shots fired.
Yeah, I'm not. I love Pfister games. I like Cloud Age. I think was great. Like I love his designs. Just my play with this, there is a runaway leader problem. Like if that person takes off, there's no catching up. Like you literally there's no way. And maybe the new ones kind of fixed that, or an expansion fixed that. I think that's kind of okay. But yeah, I never. Maybe I would revisit one of the new ones like New Zealand or one of the new ones that came out, but the base game for Great Western Trail is a little low on my I never want to play it again list.
If this is going to blow you away, but I completely agree with you.
No.
100%. It's a runaway leader problem, and I haven't played the new version or the expansions that might have fixed it. And I love Pfister's games. Maracaibo loves the game and fixes that problem, by the way. And I have this game too. I played it a few times. I was like, yeah, I see this issue. And I think designs after that have been way better. And
sure. Yeah, not a fan.
Again,
number 15 on the list. Yeah.
Yep.
So that I'll come out of the gate with that one as my number 5.
Nice. Okay, so you just talked about one that has a runaway leader. That's not one of my categories. So, but I'll start with. Okay, this one's a fun category. These were games that happened in the same world as another game that are like in my top 5 games, and then they're so opposite. Like on the spectrum of being good, they're so bad that it makes me angry. Does that make sense? So like imagine like a sequel, part 2 comes out and it's so bad that it makes you not pretend like it doesn't exist. So I have 2 games that fit this category. So the first one is Orleans Stories.
Oh wow. Okay.
This burnt up so fast. It did so poorly that I bet you most people forgot that it even came out. So like when it came out, this is Orleans. So Orleans is my number 1 game.
Right.
Orleans Stories came out and I was super excited. It was like campaign style or something like that. And it just, I think Peter played this with me or also played it at the same convention. But yes, it was such a huge, never heard of it because they went real quiet. It's like Superman 3. It was so, I don't want to be mean about it as much as you can tell how much I didn't like it. But the reason why I disliked it so much is because I loved Orleans so much that it had, I had this expectation way up here. And then the other one that fits that category is because I loved Root so much, Oath was the closest game I ever got to throwing away.
It's almost made my list.
Did it?
Yeah.
So, that's right. You played it too. So now I know Peter's going to disagree with me because he was in this game with me. But it was just such a weird locked up one that it's for me, Root is one of the most fascinating things to look at as a designer, to see how they made all the factions work together and flow together really well. And then Oath is not Root, but it's kind of trying to do the same thing. Well, it's done by the same people, right? But it's trying to do the same thing where everybody plays differently, but it doesn't work. It locks up at the end in this weird, awkward thing where some players know, okay, I got a whole round to go and I know I cannot win. It's like mathematically impossible. And you have to sit there and make it happen. And sometimes you might even know okay, that person's going to win no matter what we do. So let's just stop. Like that's just not a great design. I think they missed the boat on several things on this. So, but again, I loved Root so much that this one dropped for me. So,
hey Derek, hope your travel was smooth. Yeah, Oath. I really liked what Oath did with the beginning of like almost like a tutorial. Like they set up the decks, they put the things in the right place, you set up your boards, right? You had your stuff, and they're like, okay, let's say you did this, draw the cards. Let's say you kept this card. All right, that card was in what I drew. Great, put them back, put them here, taught you what to do, and then it was like immediately the rails stopped. Yeah. And then it was just like,
I remember that.
I don't know what to do. Like, what can I do this? And they didn't explain anything about the like converting people and what that meant to the game or anything. It was a really, really well done tutorial with the setup and everything, but it's like that war game-esque rulebook with the 8.1.1, 8.1.2, 8. It was too much. I loved Vast. Root, I think, is a chore because you need to find someone that knows all the stuff. I know people say that's not true, but I think you do because you want to know what everyone's doing so you can play your game. And then Oath was just like, Matty P, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah. There's also this thing where all these different cards go out on the table, and there's just too many things to look at and too many choices. And if you're not familiar with the game, it's just, I don't know what to do. There's too many things going on. But you're right. And games that attempt that walkthrough teach, like now do this, now do this, now do this. Now you're on your own. That first step when you're on your own is always a stumble for me.
Yeah,
because it's never worked out for me.
Which is fine because you're still learning how to play the game, which I understand. Like, let's learn how to play kind of stuff. I get it. But this one was such a dramatic shock to understanding what was going on. And that first time I was like, now you go, like, enjoy the game. And I was, what do I do? It was so railed that I had no idea. Like, I didn't know what to do.
Right. Yeah, I get that. Wow.
I want to do trash truck.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the whole thing's wrecked or anything. There's some really interesting stuff. And just like you said at the beginning, I was like, okay, this is looking pretty cool and stuff. Halfway through, I was like, uh-oh. That's where I started realizing, like, this isn't working. But
yeah, I did like this. Like, again, I don't hate the game, and I always try and find stuff that's good in games, and that's one of the things that was really good in that game. I liked a lot of what it was doing. I just didn't like what it did. But also another game I wouldn't join. I wouldn't play. I have no desire to get back into it. It just seemed like I experienced it, and I'm good. I don't need to play a full game of it. Yeah,
I think that's going to be the meanest that I'm going to be. There's one on here that could go a little. I mean, well, from my perspective, there are some games on here people might love, and I'm gonna say something.
Yeah, but like Derek just said, the last thing that Derek said, like it might not be for you, and it's okay. Like there are plenty of people that love these games, and that's great. They found a game they love. Of all the games that are thrown at us in a year, people find games they like, and they find games they don't like. That's okay.
Yeah, but I will say between these two games, Orleans, first of all, most people have not heard of it, which is crazy because, you would think that Orleans would be something big. And then Oath, I don't see people playing this. Mm-hmm. Like it came out, people said, oh, I get Oath. People played it a little bit. It's crickets afterwards. Yeah. And I still see Root. So...
yeah, there's a few people in the Syracuse and the QSCon community that have played Oath a couple times. But yeah, Derek. I wonder what happened with that one. Like, was that a TMG? Like, somebody picked it up and there was no marketing for it or something? Like,
I think TMG was. I don't think it was TMG.
Well, like when TMG got, because TMG was Orleans, wasn't it?
It was DLP Games.
Who did it before that, though?
Oops, hit the wrong thing. Show me all the credits, yo.
It's there.
Arrakis Games, Matago.
Oh, Madigo.
White Goblin Games. But I'm not sure which one developed it.
Got it.
Probably.
Who did Orleans the base game?
That was Team G. Yeah.
Right. So I'm curious if this company got the rights to Orleans, did this, but they didn't have like there was some transition period and it wasn't marketed properly. Although if the game just sucked, like if it was awful, then fine. It had nothing to do with marketing or anything, you know?
Yeah, Matt, I don't know anyone who had great things to say about it. Maybe there is someone, but I haven't seen it. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's my number 5. That's my category for number 5. So.
That's a good one. I like how you got 2 and 1 now. You always yell at me for having things in order, not in order.
I warned ahead of time.
Things. I know. I'm just saying.
All right. So what's your number 4?
All right. I'm gonna just crawl up my list here, and this one is probably going to be the more shocking on my list. I don't know if I would play it the way I played it again, and there are reasons. I think I'd play it out of the box the way it's supposed to be played. They have an app that you can play fully co-op with this game. And unfortunately, I played this game after I played a more modern game that did the app integration way better than this one. And it sucks because I really wanted to like it, but there's 2 things about it I did not like. One was the app integration, the way it worked. And then the special characters that aren't in the game, you can't play with them. You might encounter them while you're playing. And that's Star Wars Imperial Assault.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's ranked 66th, which shocked me, quite honestly, that it was.
I am surprised at that listing too. I've seen that before. Yeah.
Yeah. But so the app integration felt like it wasn't even like it was a misstep. It felt like it was 2 steps. So the game that I played that did it better was the newer version of Descent. The volume 1 or whatever it did, the big blue box.
Mm-hmm.
That app integration was so intuitive and so well done. We had a really good time playing that scenario. And then the following week at AccuseCon Tuesday, we played this with the app and it just was clunky as fuck. Like it just didn't work. It didn't feel, I'm sure the gameplay is great as you're the Empire, you're the Rebels, play your thing, because then you can control things. It just didn't feel fluid or smooth. It just felt like
this one didn't come out with an app initially though, did it? Because I have it and okay.
Correct. Yeah, you play as the Empire or the Rebels. Like you just play it. It's like Mansions of Madness with the app and Mansions of Madness with someone who's rocking the house. I prefer someone who's rocking the house to the app. I think the app it had some missteps where it talked about creatures that weren't even in the game. Like I didn't like it. I like somebody to play it, right? Just same with this. Let somebody else, because at one point the ATST was inside like the cantina bar. Like, how did it come into the door? Like, is it just wrecking shit as it's walking through? Like, it just didn't. So the other thing I didn't like about it, and to Fantasy Flight's credit, like putting all the character packs and getting all the characters that you want to play, like that's all great. But then you don't play them. You can't play as Ahsoka. You can't play as Kanan. You can't play. They're in a deck, and when something happens that triggers a whatever, you draw a card, and it could be Obi, and it could be I know it'd be a little bit too powerful if I just played as Obi and Ahsoka. Like, sure, they'd wreck house. No offense, you're going up against Darth Vader. Like, so that aspect of it where like the characters might not ever even be in the games that you're playing, in addition to the app just being, which sucks. I think I would play it without the app. I wouldn't play it with the app ever again.
And several people in the comments saying that they've only played it without the app and they like it. So I played it only once. I played the intro to it.
Right.
And same thing with Gloomhaven. I played the intro. It was mentioned earlier. I played the intro to it. I haven't continued beyond either one. And I've said this before, and Mike and I could have made this a category. This could be my 6th category, but I play Pathfinder, D&D, and Star Wars RPG every Sunday. So these don't measure up. No board game will ever measure up to a role-playing game whenever they try to do this to me. And if you don't play those games, then by all means, I hope you get the fun out of this, but they just never measure up.
Yeah, we played a couple scenarios, and I really wanted to like it because my friend Luke had printed up. I have him in my copy. had printed up 3D resin printed the Bad Batch, the characters from Bad Batch. So we played this game with the characters of the Bad Batch, which is just a port over from the base characters that are in the game. They just made their stats like, Echo is this and whatever. And then the character points and everything were just this other character. So we played as the Bad Batch, which was really cool because I wanted to get into it, but it just, those two things kind of like, wait a minute. And then the ATST came out, and it's the level where we were in the bar and the thing was hunting us down in the bar. And it's like, but the rules and its base are going all through. Like it didn't work.
Yeah. Outer Rim plays differently. And I actually really like Outer Rim. It's a sandbox game. It does suffer from the issue of any sandbox game, which is you could have a game where nothing happens, and it's 5 hours long, or you can have a game where you do everything right and it's an hour and a half.
Right. Yeah, Outer Rim is good.
Yeah.
So this one just fell short for me.
Yeah, I could see that.
And again, I'm in the minority, right? Great Western Trail is ranked 15th. This is ranked 66th. Like, it's not a bad game. Just that experience was just like, oh.
Doesn't the expansion help with Imperial Salt?
There are plenty of
tons of they have tons of
there's
them.
A lot of them, and there's all those character packs. But like I said, like it'd be really cool if I can play this game with the crew of the Ghost, right? Like play the Rebels characters, right? Play with Zeb and play with Chopper and play with Hera. But the problem is you put them into a deck, and you might not even. I don't even know if like the continuity would work. Like some of the characters you could get are not even at the time that the others are playing. That's all weird too.
Who means the expansion for Outer Rim? I haven't made that one yet though. The expansion for it. Yeah, I think it's just more content.
Yeah, I think it's just more content. It's got what's his name on the front?
Dengar. Yeah.
Dengar. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, good picks. Okay, so my next one is going to definitely ruffle some feathers because I've never agreed with this for reasons. So this category is you're expecting the theme is told you, and you're expecting a certain gameplay, and it robs you of that gameplay. Maybe it's a good game, but you're not getting what you were expecting from it.
Okay.
And I have two of them for this. So the first one is the one probably most people haven't heard of. It was a Kickstarter a year or so ago. Excavation Earth. This had a really cool theme idea. It was after humanity was gone, we destroyed ourselves or something like that. Aliens, you play aliens that come down to Earth and like dig up artifacts and sell them on the market and stuff. This could have been really interesting, but it really just kind of turned out to be a market game. And there's no theme. Like I thought, oh, cool, you'll get something like, like a television remote, and we know what that is, but maybe they call it something else. You could do some really fun stuff with it thematically. Yeah. It's called something else, and the theory of what they thought it was, and it could be wrong and funny and stuff. Like none of that's in there at all. All it is just pictures of like a teddy bear or something, and then you're just saying like it's so dry, and the whole thing just like it wasn't the fun theme I thought it'd be.
Yeah.
So it kind of fell. I played it twice. The actual game itself, if you like economic games, pretty well done. Works well. I like Clans of Caledonia a little bit better, but to each their own on that regard.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything wrong with the game itself mechanically. It's just why have this really fun, cool theme if you're not going to play up to it, right?
Okay.
And then the one that people are going to disagree with me about, but I want to be a pirate whenever you tell me that it's going to be pirates. And instead, Libertalia is going to go on the list because I'm not a pirate in this game. I'm just putting down numbers and abilities. I'm not pirating people. I'm not burying treasure. I'm not sailing the open seas and saying R. I just got cards and I'm putting them down in a certain order and stuff. Like, it's not being a pirate. It's stupid. It should have just made it generic colors or something. And it just bothers me every time people are like
games. Jesus. You should have just made this
know.
colors.
I'm sorry, but it just bothers me when people go, "Oh, it's one of my favorite games and stuff." Because yeah, I know it's mechanically works great. I'm sure it's really fun if you're not expecting to be a pirate. But I got the game because I asked people, "What is one of the best pirate games to have?" And hundreds of people put in the little list. It's one of those posts, and they fill up the thing.
Yeah.
It came up over and over and over again. I was like, "Okay, it looks like I'm getting Libertalia. I'm going to be a pirate." Nope. So that was why it's disappointing to me. So I can't even evaluate the gameplay itself because I was so disappointed I didn't get to be a pirate.
Wow. Yeah.
So I can't even be like, the game's bad or anything. But
right.
So yeah, that's my 2 for things that don't pay off.
I like that you want to play a game where you're R in the game, and that's gonna make you feel like a pirate. Like you could just do that in any game.
Well, I mean, like Merchants and Marauders is notoriously the pirate game, right? And even in that one, it almost made this list just because it actually mechanically better just to be a merchant. If you try to be the pirates, you don't do as well as the merchants, kind of thing. Sure, but to me, the best pirate game so far is Black Seas, and it's very not down to easy to get into and stuff, but you actually get to be a pirate. You get to go to a merchant, take their stuff, sink them, whatever. Yeah. So, yeah, I do have, and this is how crazy I am. After as much as I thought that, I got the Stone Mayor New Libertalia, and I was like, I'm just gonna remember what I'm dealing with here. Right. And I know he's done a little something different and stuff, but we'll see. I have not played Too Many Bones. I think that's only 2-player, right?
No, I think it's more players.
Okay, I could be wrong, but
because Dan is always trying to get us to get a game together at Tuesdays. I haven't jumped into one yet. Yeah, Libertalia is good. I enjoyed it. I mean, unless you're reading into the theme and you're filling in the gaps in your head to the narrative and the story, like when the monkey comes up or whatever, okay. And to your point, yeah, you are playing numbers with abilities, but the art's beautiful. I like the feel, the backstabbery, the stealing the coins. Like it does have pirate, I don't know, adjacent feel, but I mean, at no point in any game do I want to go R to people. Like that doesn't make a game for me.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of the whole, pirate theme and stuff as far as, all the Caribbean pirate stuff and all that. So you want that adventure and all that stuff. And I just didn't get it from this. So. For sure. Nice. I was misled, honestly. Nice.
What you should do is do a Zelda Wind Waker game. That would be super fun. I don't know if you ever played Wind Waker. That was one of my favorites.
Zelda, though. Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, so good.
I do know that Stone Mayor is working on something that he said was inspired by Zelda Breath of the Wild. I think most game designers have tried that, so I can't wait to see what he does with that. I have one too, so we'll see.
Be first to market.
I won't be. I don't have time to work on my own games. All right. Number three. What's your number 3?
Keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna keep going up the list. So this is number 73 on the BGG top 100. I did not. Wow. Oh, thanks, Dave. Wind Waker is it's a great one. And yeah, any Zelda game developed, I want to know about. I do not ever want to play Azul again.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Is there a specific Azul?
Just the base game. And because I'm so soured on the base game, I haven't done the Pavilion. I haven't done the Chocolatier. I haven't done the Queen Bees, whatever the hell the other ones are. I did not. I played it. I thought I was reading the rules wrong. I didn't. The rules, it's a 1-page rule. It felt too backstabbery and too. out of control. Like, it was not a good experience. I don't understand it. There are many other games that I would much rather play than Azul. Yeah, I've heard Summer Pavilion is good. That's the moment that you're building the floor tiles and it's got the diamond pieces.
Yeah, Summer Pavilion's my favorite one of them, but I like all of them for different reasons. But I haven't played the chocolate one yet.
It's like it's a retheme of this. It's just like literally a skin over it, from what I understand.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, then I don't need to play
something else, but I think it's just a skin.
Oh, okay.
I'm just I mean, I don't. Maybe I did play it wrong, but I don't even want to take the time to figure out if I played it wrong. Like Azul, there's nothing about it. I didn't like the filling up the thing and moving them over and getting that together. I didn't like the backstabbery that was going on with the selection in the middle where you can just really bone somebody and there's nothing you could do about it. Like there was no, I can get out of this. It was just like, well, guess I'm stuck. Like there was just nothing. It was just nothing about it that I don't want to revisit it. The rules were weird. They weren't clear. I mean, maybe there was an errata or an FAQ or something that it just, and it wasn't, the people, or at least one person I was playing with, I'm like, am I reading this wrong? And they're like, no, that's how I read it. There was nothing. There was just nothing. And it's beautiful, beautifully well done. Love the company. I know it's obviously high on people's lists, but it did not hit for me when I played it.
I played this game quite a bit. It's just a real easy one for us to get there, but we now play the Summer Pavilion one a lot more. It's just got a little bit more to it, and it has a little bit less of that backstabbery you're talking about. Just because you can, in a way, kind of like make up for it in different ways. You know?
Sure. Well, that helped, right? Like what I said about Great Western Trail. Like I never want to play the base game again because of that runaway leader problem. Like it wasn't a good experience. I wouldn't. Maybe the news. If somebody can tell me that, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
You're a monster for using the wrong "your."
If someone can convince me that the New Zealand game does things better, not just no, it's better. It's again, this is the base game. I don't know about Summer Pavilion. I don't know about any of the other things that go with it. I'm just saying that I never want to play Azul. And it really did sour all other Azuls for me because of this experience that I had with Azul. I have not wanted to play any of the others because of that.
If you truly don't like the game mechanically, I wouldn't be like, well, you need to try the other ones or anything, because you just might not like that type of game. Yeah.
But clearly that's fine, right? Like there's people in the chat that love it. There are more people in the chat that love it than hate it. So like, it wasn't, again, it's not for me, which is fine. It's for other people. Clearly it's for other people. Like,
unfortunately, there's a conspiracy in the chat that they're going to make you play it again. So
I'm not wasting my time at QSCon playing Azul.
Try Pavilion. At least then you get a different taste.
Yeah. You're saying it's better.
Yeah.
I would try Pavilion. I would try, because I've heard multiple times.
There you go.
Better. I would try Pavilion. I'm not playing base Azul. It's not happening.
Now, if the thing that you hated was the grab thing, right? So like in the middle here, you have groupings of colors and people. I don't know what that thing in the middle is.
Yeah, what is
groupings? That? I don't know. Like they broke their tile, maybe. But groupings of tiles, and someone grabs a color, and then that kind of stuff. They get all that of that color.
Yeah.
That is in all of Azuls. That's the main thing. All the other stuff you do with it changes. So if that's the part you don't like, you're not gonna like the others.
It's a part I didn't like.
Okay.
It's kind of like having Ahsoka as one of my characters in Star Wars and not being able to play her. Like it's in the deck, and maybe this is the scenario where she comes up because I shuffled properly, but nope, not again.
Yeah.
There's nothing you could do about it unless you physically are like, because you don't have a card to play with them, right? There isn't a card that you can play with that character. There's in the deck.
Yeah. I mean, one of my favorite things about it is trying to figure out, okay, they're going to get this, and then they're going to get this. So I will tell you, I think it's much better at 2 or 3 instead of 4, because 4, you can't plan ahead at all.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to get red and then get blue. No, you won't. Blue's going to be gone by the time it gets around to you. It's too random feeling with 4 players, but 2 or 3 is good. Yeah. That's a special first player. Okay. Pavilion definitely better, but still can be mean. That's true.
I'm okay with mean. I don't mind it being mean. I don't know. Not for me.
Yeah, I like the stained glass one too. I liked it better than this one, and then I liked Pavilion that came after more than that one. So, yeah. So that was
in these games, though, right? Terraforming Mars base game, never want to try it. Great Western Trail base game, never want to try it. Azul base game, never want to try it. Like, and then they put out an expansion or they put out another edition, and oh, it's better. Oh, we fixed the problem. Oh, we fixed this thing. It's like, well, then I'm not going to buy base games. I'm going to wait till you come out with your other shit, and then I'm going to buy that because that's going to be better than the original because now you've learned like, oh, that doesn't work or that's not good or there is a runaway leader. It's like, oh, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
You guys can play it at QSCon. Have a great time.
Make him play it. Maybe he'll like it.
No.
Wait till after he takes all those drinks. He'll love it.
I was just going to say, I don't think West is bringing enough to get me to want to play it. And there's a full bar there. I still don't
Lost Cities. See, I love Lost Cities. So, yeah.
I like Lost Cities, the board game. I'm not a fan of Lost Cities, the card game.
I thought you hadn't played the card game yet.
No, I played it.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
It was like, oh, it's got the same mechanism and the same way you're playing the cards that the board game has. I just think the board game elevated the choices more.
I hadn't played the board game, so it'd be interesting to see. Yeah. All right. So my number, what are we on? Number 3 here? Okay. Also, I'm going to pick.
I do want to give a shout out to, I don't know if Chad's watching, but Chad from 25th Century. I reached out to him and asked him if, he could support QSCon for Play to Wins. And he sent me like an unbelievable amount of stuff. Like I am humbled that I know so many people, but it was like, holy crap, Chad. And I sent him a holy crap text message, like thanking him for what he sent. In that was longboards. And I've heard, and I don't know if Mike Rice from Board Game Rundown is in the chat, but he loves longboard. And apparently longboard is very Lost Cities-esque, but for 4 players, where Lost Cities is a card game for 2. Longboard does what Lost Cities does, but for 4. So if you like Lost Cities, but you want to play with more people, apparently Longboard is the game to do.
I haven't heard of this game.
It'll be in the Play to Win at QSCon.
Interesting. All right. Cool.
Yeah, it's got that same well, apparently, and I haven't played it yet. I will. But Mike said it's got that, and he loves Lost Cities. It's got that Lost Cities feel with the card play, but it plays maybe more than 4, but it plays 4 players. So that instead of Lost Cities being 2, this one plays more. So
we snuck a little commercial there in the middle.
Yeah. They came. When I got back from the wedding, they were here, and he is a very generous individual, and I love him. So go support 25th Century if you can somehow, please.
That's funny.
I'm not the first one I get right. If I can take a 1-chip, anything fucking spicy is coming off that list.
Spicy.
No way. A 1-chip challenge. Nope. There's no anything ghost pepper. Fuck that.
All right. So
in there. Yep.
Oh, okay. Love that mug. Yeah, I saw that mug. So my number 3 is,
as long as it can get to me by Tuesday, a week from tomorrow.
That'd be cool.
Just let me know, and I'll probably ask you for like a logo that I can promote and support, kind of thing. So
my number 3 is a really picky category. It's so picky and petty, but if your box doesn't fit on my shelf, I hate you, especially if there's no reason for it. If there's no reason for it. So I have 2 games for this. Yes. So I have 2 games for this. The first one is Nemiji, I think is what you call it. Nemiji? I don't know how to say it. Okay. So this game is fun. I'll admit it's fun. The box is like this big and this thin. If you just squished it a little bit and thickened it, it would have fit right on there.
Yeah.
Drives me insane. Yes. Yeah. Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea is also like that, and it's
box.
like the third one I could have put on here.
Yeah.
These are games that I have to put on top of the shelf. Guess what? I never look up there. So these games don't get played. So stop making your boxes too big for the Kallax shelf. This is the standard shelf. We've all agreed. Yeah. There's a standard box size. Why can't you just stick to the standard box size? Just try your best. Try your best to stick to that box size. And if you have to go bigger, just make sure it sticks inside one of those sizes, right?
Sure.
This is a fun game if you like Tokaido. It's like a slight step up. And that's another little irk for me, though, is that it wasn't different enough. And I waited like 5 years for this game.
Right.
It was insane. Although the little boats and stuff in it are amazing. And I don't know why there aren't pictures of them. They're there. Those aren't even the good ones. Like they come all fully painted.
Yeah.
I do want to see that's prototype stuff. I hate that prototype stuff goes up on the BGG. There you go. There they are. Oh, great. Uploaded a little tiny picture. Well, whatever.
Wow.
Anyway, there's some great stuff in there, but yeah, I don't know why that was so big. And then the other one that's too big is, and this isn't even it, but Mosaic, the deluxe version, can't fit on my shelf. If I had bought the normal version, it would fit on my shelf. But deluxe apparently to them means doesn't go on your shelf. So, and there's no reason for that because it really is like this much off. And there's less stuff in it than there is for Dwellings, and Dwellings fits on the shelf.
You clearly have woodworking a skill set where you can make your own shelving. So all you need to do is make a shelving next to your shelving that's bigger than 12 by 12.
I refuse. You get shoved to the top of the shelf, and I'll never look at you is what happens. That's where you belong.
Do you take a tape measure when you go game shopping?
No, I can. I honestly, I believe I can tell just by looking, be like, that's not going to fit. But you can, when you look at games, you look and you see, okay, all these have a standard box. This one's bigger. You could put the standard box next to it and go, yeah, that's not going to fit.
Yeah. Huh.
So
interesting.
Yeah, that I told you it's petty.
But this was bonkers. That picture, I don't know if you can go find it, but that
giant one.
Holy shit.
At least you know what you're getting with that. And there are some games that you go, okay, this isn't going to fit before you even get it. But this is stuff that I didn't know when I backed it, kind of stuff. I backed both of these games on Kickstarter, and I got them, and I went to the shelf and went, uh-oh.
Wait a minute. If you bought or backed a game that you knew wasn't going to fit, you're okay with that. But if you bought a game thinking it would fit and it didn't, you're aggravated.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this list, is that I expect it to go on the shelf, and then it doesn't.
So the game fell short because the box was slightly too big.
Yes, it's a bad development decision.
Okay. Yeah, no Lacerdas. Well, no, I think they fit if you lay them
all
down.
All Lacerdas that I have fit on the shelf. Yeah, they just go in that way. Yeah,
they can't go out.
Because they're profile, but they go in sideways. Love them. They're all on there. Yeah. Even Weather Machine, the new one.
Yeah, you just can't stand them up. That's all. It's like Lords of Waterdeep. You can't stand that up. You got to lay it flat.
Yeah. How hard is it to just? Okay, I'm not. I'm not gonna. I could go on forever about that. It irks me so much.
Sure.
Yep, sideways does it. All right, so we are on to. That's my petty one. So
yeah. That was extremely. So the game doesn't fall short. The game box falls short.
The development of the game, and there's actually a few little things in Mosaic that I would also say development wise I wasn't crazy about.
Okay.
Game wise, that's pretty good. There's again, I won't nitpick.
I don't like the name, but other than that,
yeah, I think they actually said that they were kind of going off of the Tapestry thing.
Yeah,
like Tapestry was a great idea, so we went with Mosaic,
But whatever. All right. So I went over. All right, so number 50. Okay, so let's go with number 85 on the chart. So my experience with this game took way too long. And I know we played the long version, and I know there's a short version, but this game suffers from Like I don't want to play it at max count because it takes too long and it suffers from too much rinse repeat. Like I feel at one point it's like I need to do this again.
You putting Arkham Horror on here?
Nope. I love that game. Obsession.
Oh, okay. I haven't played this one yet.
I like a lot of what Obsession is doing. I like the throwing the parties. I love having the people in the estate that are helping you, the butler and the maids and all the things, and the certain workers that are certain colors can do certain things, and you have to have the right workers and they have to rest. And there's a lot that's going on with it. But the game takes too long and is too much of the same thing over and over again. And I think the only difference between the short version and the long version of the game is the short version is 15 rounds, the long version is 19 rounds. And we, for a first game, and I played it with I think I played it with Erica, Daryl, and Ryan Bruns. It was really like good people. We knew what we were doing, but that 19, even if that were 15 rounds, like we were talking about it, like this is taking too long. Like it's just too much of the same thing. And maybe it was Erica that had come over and said, "Oh, you're playing the long version." And we were like, "What?" The other side of the board, the score track was the short version, but it was 15. By round 15, I'm already done. Like it's already too much of the same thing. But I really did like a lot of what the game was doing. The components were great. Like it wasn't about the quality, it wasn't about the mechanisms. It was all really good, but there should be a ramp up in the beginning so that game doesn't take too long. Those kind of games that are like rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, and you're just doing it over and over. It's like it's just the same thing. Like I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% on this yet, but I'm pretty sure Cosmoctopus suffers from that. I played that a few times now, and you got to get the first one to 8 tentacles because you're a fucking octopus. So you can't really shorten that, but the game takes a long time to get that engine building where it's a 60 to 90 minute game at max player. And it's just too much of the same thing over and over.
I wouldn't have expected that game to be that long.
Yeah, it's a long one. Like it's got some distance to it. But again, and I want to play it at a shorter play count to see. It's just this thing is
probably true.
It's just not, and I don't know I mean, it's based on that, whatchamacallit, that series. Not
Pride and Prejudice and all that stuff?
No. Downton Abbey? Downton Abbey. Yeah. Downton Abbey. So it's got a very, like, that kind of regal feel to it, right? And I'm sure if you're a fan of the thing, it all makes sense. That's great. But I've never read Brandon Sanderson's The Reckoners. Like, I'm not familiar with the IP. And that game shines without knowing the IP. So I don't think if I knew the IP, this game would be better. It's still going to have that rinse repeat problem.
Yeah, Underwater Cities actually almost made my list on this one.
I haven't played that one yet, but I know a lot of people that like it. Yeah.
It's highly liked, and it just kind of fell under for me, but not like so badly that I wouldn't try it again. So that's why it's not on the list. I'd try it again. It's sometimes you think like, was I just in a bad mood that time I played? Maybe I should play again, kind of thing. So that's why I didn't make the list.
I thought about that with this, with what I was putting down on the list, and no.
No. So you're not obsessed with this one.
I'm not obsessed with this one. I'm the opposite of obsessed with this one.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not saying like I said, it's a good game. It's got really cool stuff to it. It's doing really good stuff. It just overstays. So like if
I would agree with that.
Obsession, yeah, if you're playing a 10-round Obsession, maybe 10 rounds, maybe even that's too long. But I know you can't get everything going in time, right? Like you got to build any engine builder. It takes time. There are some engine builders that do it well, where you're starting, with stuff that makes it a little bit better. Or
yeah, that makes me think of. I hate that I have to think about how to say it. What you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Thank you. That makes me think of that game because at the beginning of that game they give you starter stuff which is kind of like giving you the first or second round of your engine. And it's really smart to like, okay, if you have to have, these many rounds, the first few rounds of engine building suck or boring and long. So, start them off with stuff and then let them get going. Right.
Right. But like, look at Furnace, right? Furnace, for what it is, it's an engine builder and it's got a lot of really good things going to it. At no point did I feel like Furnace overstayed its welcome. Like, you start off, you're starting to build your engine, you're doing your thing. You got a certain amount of turns to do your shit, get it done. This was it just took too long. You can have an English accent when you're playing. I'm not playing it. And no, not after Azul die. Come on. Mike Huscon's going to suck. Jesus.
That's funny.
Oh my God.
I
haven't tried the expansion yet, Rob, but the base game, I really enjoy the base game. They did a really good job with that, which I'm not surprised. Robert and Arcane Wonders, their games are always great.
All right. Well, I haven't played Obsession yet, so I can't say I agree or disagree with you. But the reason why I haven't played is because that theme does not excite me in the least. So
sure. I mean, we also know you don't like Libertalia because the theme isn't there. But like this game, if you do have a chance to play it and you don't mind games taking a little bit longer, this version of it, it does really cool. Like, as a game designer, looking at like what they're doing mechanism wise in that game, it really is smart. Like, what they're doing is really cool. I like the way it's almost like a cooldown track with your meeples. It's really good. Hey.
Yeah, I mean, I say that, but some of my favorite games are themes that wouldn't excite me. But eventually I tried them and I was like, oh, these are my favorite games. Like Orléans, like I don't care about walking around ancient France, and Concordia, second favorite game, Mediterranean trading. Okay. But favorite game. So
there you go. Now your BGG con is going to be as awesome as Mike Q's con.
Yeah, I'll try it. Definitely. All right, so my number 2, Peter actually showed me this game. So funny he's listening to this. And I bought it for the second time because what happened was I Kickstarted it. And then, like all Kickstarters, I then forgot that I Kickstarted it. And then he introduced me to the designer publisher at Gen Con. I was like, that's amazing. How do I get this game? And he was like, you could go sign up, back order or whatever. And I did. And I got 2 copies of it. And you got one of them.
Oh, so, Vindication.
Vindication. And the reason why it's on this list is I love this game. This is a great game. But it's on this list under the category of why are there minis in this game? There are huge, beautiful minis. You can throw them in the trash the minute you get this game. You will never use them. Not once. Any of them. You don't need them. You'll never use them. They mean nothing to the gameplay. But the gameplay is awesome. This could have been a half a box. But so the minis are great. In fact, I wonder if they have...
fell short because it has minis?
It fell short because... Yeah, look at the minis. Someone painted that little one. But
yeah, that's really cool.
Look at the minis. Yeah, I mean, the minis are gorgeous. They're huge. Yeah, see, that's the game, and you'll never put a mini on it. You'll never use the minis. Not once. Not in the expansions it came with. Nothing. You don't need them. You can put them on there. It doesn't matter. They don't need to be there.
Didn't it come with like an exclusive mini that certain ones had, and you didn't have, like, it had space for ones you don't even get?
Yeah, you have in the copy you got that is either from the Kickstarter or from whenever I bought it the second time. The copy you got, you have a mini that I don't have, and I have a mini that you don't have. Another bad decision, by the way, to make it to where nobody gets all of the minis. But
yeah, that's
and I really like this company, and this game is excellent. I would highly recommend this game, and it's on many of my lists for playing this game.
Yeah,
but you see that mini right there? Cool mini. That's what you do with it. You stick it in the middle. That's it. That's all you do. Doesn't move around. Doesn't do anything. There's another one. Oh no, that's the same mini. Stuck in the middle, just like all the other minis. Look at all these minis.
Big minis too. It is really
like this big. Yeah,
they're huge.
I've never used them. Never once.
Yeah. It's a good game. Definitely, I mean, well produced, but I guess if a game falls short because it has too much stuff, that's weird.
And it has stuff that I can't use. Don't make a game with all these awesome minis and then not need them.
Sure. Okay.
Like you're upset. Yeah, these are rants that I've kept in my heart and will revisit every now and then. But to its, the reason why it bothers me because the game is great.
Okay. Yeah.
And I also want to use these minis, and every time I open it, I go, "There's those gorgeous minis. Move those out of the way. Let's set up the game." And then you play the game, and it's a great game. You put it up, and you go, "Then play with these minis. Put them back in." And so,
does Vindication fit in a Calyx?
Yeah, it's sideways, just like a Lacerda. Yeah, it's not on the other list, so. But it is a great game. So
it is. It is really well done.
Let me be mad for you. Don't get mad too.
No, the game's worth it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yep. Really, I like what it's doing.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna go on to our number one.
Yeah.
So what's your number one? This is the one you hate the most, right?
No.
You don't have yours in any kind of order, do you?
No, mine are not in order. Never in order. Although, ironically, I did do them in rank order, like BGG ranking. I did do them in order. I came out of the gate with Point Salad because, I've talked about that. But
right,
going from Terraforming Mars, which was a 6, Great Western Trail, which was a 15, Star Wars Imperial Assault, which was 66, Azul, which was 73, and Obsession, which was 85. Those are all top 100.
Okay. So your number one is like number 100 or something?
No, I think I'm going to skip over. I've talked about So Clover. I don't know why people like it.
It's okay. I have it as a mobile game, and that's where it can stay.
Yeah, just every time I see people playing it, I played it, did not have a good time. Like I was like, okay, putting the words together, trying to get whatever. But every time I've seen people playing it, that table always seems to not be having fun. Right? It's never like joyous or laughing or something. There's always some sort of like, how the fuck did you didn't get it? Like what? How could I be more clear? Like it was just, I don't know.
I think So Clover did well because it was right on the cusp of starting the whole roll and write, and so much better stuff has come after that. So if you go to it after all this other stuff, it's going to be disappointing.
No, not Ganshan Clever.
Oh, well, what are you talking about?
So Clover.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're talking about So I don't think I've played it, but you've talked about it before.
I have.
Yeah, you've talked about this before.
Yep. And not just once. It wasn't like I experienced one table that was kind of just dry. Like multiple times I've seen this and I played it. Like you got those two words on the cards, and then you got to write on the clover a word that connects them, and then people are trying to guess what the words are. Like it seemed clever. It didn't land. It just didn't land.
How is looking cake and recipe?
It's cooking, not looking. That's probably.
Oh, okay.
Shannon, you'll probably love it because I don't. So don't worry about it.
That's fair. Yeah, if you've disagreed with us all the way through, just start getting the other things that we mentioned.
Yeah, you'll love it. This will be your number one. This will be your number one favorite games ever because
I thought you did recommend it. Yeah, didn't you recommend this at one point?
Oh, at no point would I have recommended this.
Okay, I remember you bringing it up, so it must have been on one of our rare lists like this.
Yeah, not me, Dave. I didn't. Unless you're just trying to bait me into something. No, I didn't recommend this. I didn't like it the first time I played it at Gathering 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. I haven't seen anyone around me like enjoying themselves from my perspective. Maybe they were having fun at the table, but from my perspective, it just didn't look like. Also,
I hear this thing a lot with party games.
Sure.
But there are some party games that are so good, you don't have to say this.
Sure. But I mean, they're also like the opposite is true, right? Like games can be bad with the wrong people. You can play any game and it can be bad because the people are just shitbags.
Sure, like, but I've never heard anybody say just one. It's good if you play with the right people. It's pretty good no matter what.
Yeah.
I played with all kinds of different people. It's just one, and it works.
Yeah. So, yeah, that word association at whatever. All right, so I'm going to skip
when
that.
You say baking instead of cooking. Anyway.
They have baking. What does it say?
It says cooking with cake and recipe. You should say baking.
Oh, yeah, but maybe not. And maybe that threw people off. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. You should get it. You'll like it. I'm going to talk about a game that I played this weekend.
Okay. Yeah, that wasn't even your number one. You just snuck one in.
No, I said, I almost did. Because that was next on my list at 385 was So Clover. But I'm going to
what's your number one?
I'm going to go to a game that just came out. Currently, it's ranked 6,200 and something. I will never play it at max count again. I really wanted to like it. And again, it has a lot of cool things going for it. I will try this at 2 players, but that's it. Just to see. And that's Wild Tiled West.
What? I haven't even heard of this. Wild Tile West?
Wild Tiled with a D West. Yep.
Oh, okay. I've seen this cover. Yeah.
It's Direwolf, and the guy designed it.
Paul Dennen.
I like the polyominoes. I like the feel. I like the covering up stuff on your board. The way the dice works. There's a lot of good things going for it. But it takes too long. It just takes too long. And I don't know if that's just a max count feel to it. That's why I want to try it at 2 to see. It goes very long. Like too long. I like it. I don't like it. Fell way short for me at 4 players. Like there was just too much of a disconnected feel to it. So if you look at the board, see there's those green areas and the blue areas on the board.
Yeah.
What am I missing?
I'm laughing. Before you said what it was, she was like, "It's probably my favorite game."
So there's those green areas and the blue areas. The green areas are the fields. The blue area is the river. Right on your turn, or on whoever the first player is, they take. Hi, how are you? They take a certain amount of green dice, which are D20s, and they take always 2 of the D8s, the blue dice, and they roll them and then place them into the locations around the board. If there's 2 of the same number, they cascade. So if I roll 2 4s, it would go to one of them will go to a 5, right? And the first player gets to pick a die and take the immediate tile in that row or column that the die is from. So I don't know. You can't zoom in, right? Like that's the big version of that thing.
That is the zoomed in part. Let me see if I can find a better one.
Okay.
How about
that? Sure. Go up to the board though with the dice. On the left there, see that die? Or on the right there, see that die? Okay. If I were to go, obviously that was a 19, so they placed it in the 19. If I were to go, the immediate polyomino space is empty. There's one there with 2 cows and a green pasture. You see it?
Yeah.
So if I were to take that 19, I would get the immediate tile next to it. So I would take if I wanted to, I'd take those 2 cows and the pasture. I'd have to pay a gold because it's telling me to pay a gold. And then you put it on your board and you're trying to cover over cities, cover over things that trigger different things. The characters there just underneath the board that ask you to you get an end game score based on X, Y, and Z. They're just, they just seemed too swingy. The cool thing is the blue dice. If you wanted the blue die, you can spend a gold to go up the river and get something else. So if I wanted to see the number 7 spot on the bottom there?
Yeah.
let's say there was a 7 there. If I didn't want that first tile, I can pay a gold to go to the second tile. And then I have to pay a gold because that one's asking for another one, right? So there's a little bit of mitigation in what you can get from there. The greens, you can't do that. It's just whatever the next immediate tile is.
Gotcha.
But you sit there and you wait until it's your turn because you can't plan, because you're looking at all these dice and you're like, oh, I really want to get that. Player 1 takes it. Well, fuck. Now, all right, well, now I'm going to get the 19. Player number 2 takes the 19. Well, and then you're putting it on your board. And I like the placement rules and I like how everything works. But it just, like, I like the art. I like the concept. I like the kind of the dice placement and the polyomino feel to it, where you're like Cosmic Colonies, where you're covering over the different terrain type, the Floodgate game, where you're covering over the terrain type with the polyominoes. And okay, well, I can't get it. Somebody else took it from me. I'll just pay a little bit more to get what I want. This is like every tile is always in the same spot. So if you go back up to that board, none of that is randomized. Mm-hmm. Every game is that layout. Every one of those polyominoes is always in that spot. That's the way the game plays. And then the luck of the roll determines what polyominoes are going to be given or taken that round. And it just, I like the bullets, like the way the things work. It just, I wanted to like it more. It just, and I don't know if it was the 4-player version of the game that did it for me. That's why I want to try it at 2, but It just didn't.
But do you feel like a cowboy? Do you go yeehaw?
No, actually, in this.
Uh-oh, you froze. I guess that means he does feel like a cowboy? Let's say he says yeehaw every time he plays. That's probably what he's saying right now. All right, well, if he's going to be frozen, I guess I'll look around here and see. I also, I'll pull this up here. Talking about Food Chain Magnet. Food Chain Magnet is really long, but if you play with like 2 or 3 players, it doesn't take that long to get around to you. And I really like the whole puzzle of it. Like, I don't like it so much that I would pay, what is it, like $120 to get the stupid thing or whatever, the whole game. And of course, graphically, it's awful for no reason. But yeah, it is a really long game, but I really liked it. But that's just subjective, right? I don't know where he totally dropped off. So now it's just my show. Luckily, he already gave us his one. So, one of your least favorites is Tapestry. Really? I just played Tapestry again this last weekend. There are things I get the understanding. Like, this could have easily gone into I expected to have a Civilization game, and then I get it, and it's not a Civilization game. It's a ladder climbing game, right? Or a path line, or what do you want to call it? Like, you're just going up different things, right? Agree on Tapestry. Really? Wow. I'm surprised on that, because it's actually a really fun game to just play. You're going up until, you can't anymore, and then you get your stuff and then go again. But and I would say, there's expansions. I don't think, if you don't like the base, you're not going to like the expansions. It's not something that fixes anything. So, yeah, that's subjective and stuff. Oh, you were taught wrong. Yeah, I hate when that happens. I had that happen with Brass. So, before the whole Kickstarter remake one of that, they had like my wife calls it the Freddie Mercury cover. It's some guy with a mustache, like putting his hand up, but that was Brass. And we went to, I think it was BGG Con actually, and we started to play the game. But the guy that taught us only taught us enough to where we could play, and then would constantly go like, "Oh, I didn't tell you could do this, by the way." Bam, big thing, destroy our efforts, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It wasn't taught wrong. It just wasn't taught so well. Like, it was taught to us just so that we could be bodies that played with him, so he could play his favorite game. It was really poorly done. So, here's Mike again. There you are. I was just tearing Brass up. So, and it's not even.
my internet literally is I'm connecting to my hotspot on my phone. Netflix
wow.
isn't working, and he's losing his mind. I know, buddy.
That
The
that
internet's
makes sense.
gone. I know.
All right, well, let me do my number one then, so you don't burn up your phone here.
No, it doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
just he's gonna start losing his mind because I literally can't get anything on. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, so my number one, the category of this one is the hype. So sometimes we're victims of the hype, right? So everybody's like, "Oh, this game's so great" and stuff, and you play it, and it's like it's okay, but you expected it to be way up here because everybody's talking about it and stuff. So I have two games for that. One was mentioned very recently as one that people really like. So sorry about that. But Furnace is one of them. I dislike this game. I dislike it because
Oh,
I know. I've played it twice, and I dislike it because you get locked into these weird, random things that you can't trigger stuff off just because of the way it like sets up. And they could have easily fixed this if they had A, B, and C decks. Like if you played London by Wallace, he has A, B, and C decks. So you go through A deck first, then B deck, and C deck. And that's because he designed it in a way to where you won't be locked out immediately because the wrong cards come out in the setup. I actually took some cards just to see like what would happen if this and this and this setup. And I was like, if this combination had come out, no one can play. Like it would just mess up the game. So yeah, I could totally see where some people's games of Furnace would be great and no breaking, no problem. I'm not saying it's broken. That's a harsh word. I wouldn't say that. But no issues would come up because I did have that my second game. On my first game, I saw issues. And yeah, so it also, I'm sorry, but there's just a lot of games that do this. And a lot of games do it well, just like this one. I didn't understand why people were going nuts over it. Just don't get it. And so the hype made me get a game that I probably wouldn't normally get. Yeah, Luca disagrees. And then the other one, the other one that falls into this is the hype was given to me by you and Katya at Gen Con, not this year, but the year before. And Cat in the Box. Sorry, guys, this is spades with a board. That's all it is. It's just spades with a couple little extra things. It's not that big a deal. I don't understand why people are going nuts. I played spades years and years. This is spades with just a few little rules. I'm not saying that's bad. I love spades. This is a good game. It's not like an amazing, mind-blowing, needs to be a giant deluxe copy thing. Like, guys, come on. It's just spades. Or hearts or some other trick-taking game. I don't get it. And the hype made me go grab this in the middle of Gen Con and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought I'd end with a banger.
Yeah, that's definitely a banger. I am not a trick-taking fan. I think trick-takers have to do something unique than just play a card, follow suit, no choice. That bothers me.
That just got it into two categories right there.
It's a colossal version. Yeah, the colossal version of it. Careful, buddy. I know. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, I enjoy it. I like what it does with the trick-taking genre. I think it does something cool where no card is any suit. You got to do the suit. That's really, it did it for me, and I would play that anytime.
I'm not saying I wouldn't play it. I just don't understand why people are going, this is the newest, biggest thing.
Yeah. Come here.
It's just spades with a little bit of extra something there. Like most trick-taking games, honestly. It didn't like blow my mind. So.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, so that's my number one. We'll end on that high note.
Yeah, I was going to talk about HeroScape, but I think I leaned into that a couple times, or in a different show too, with the whole you could have the best crew and the best position, and you could just lose because of a bad die roll, and there's no mitigation on that at all. And that bot, can you not touch things? Don't touch things. Stop touching things.
Yeah. Oh, you went mute. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, no, it's because Luke is muting me somehow. He found a combination on the screen.
That's funny.
It's not funny. It's not funny. You're not funny.
There you go.
No,
She won't make you play Azul if you don't make me play Cat.
No, I won't make you play a game you don't like. It's not... Hey, buddy, I know.
Ooh, very upset about Netflix.
You just threw Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man's fault the internet went down.
Oh.
It's his fault, not mine.
So anyway, we don't usually like to do negative lists and stuff like that. So we try not to go too negative with it, but
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta get a few rants off.
Well, it's not that this game is bad. None of you should buy them ever. Those games we talked about are shit. They shouldn't be on shelves. They shouldn't. It's not about that. The games are good. Like I said, 5 of mine are in the top 100. So the majority is the games are good. Terraforming Mars is apparently a good game. It's just not a game for me. Just like my Batman game is not a game for everybody. That's a moon.
Luca agrees.
It's a moon. Uh-oh. Yeah, he's on the
So,
That's where this noise is going. I was calling on the table.
well, then that's a good time to end the show then. You could go entertain Luca. And we got all off the chest what we need.
You want to say bye? Come say bye.
Yeah, tell them say goodbye. Say goodbye to everybody. Check us out for check us out for Scryfy, and this is the play later this week and next Monday, all that stuff.
Yeah. This is the play this week is going to be fun. I'll let you know when that's all happening, but you might not want to miss that one because it's going to suck for me. And then I'm very much looking forward to Scryfy this week to talk about Ahsoka because tomorrow is going to be amazing.
Yes. Yep. Can't wait for that.
All right. Cool.
All right.
Thanks everybody.
Bye, everybody. Have a good con.
Lucas screaming.
I almost left the studio. Wrong button.
Oh, damn it. You're getting there.
It brings up a "Are you sure this time?" So it saved me.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you got saved.
Whew.
Way to go.
Bye, everybody.